what do we mean by the term school-to-prison pipeline? Well, the school-to-prison pipeline refers to the heightened risk of juvenile justice and criminal justice involvement among students who have been suspended and/or who drop out of school. Nationally, the criminalization of minor school-based infractions and overrepresentation of youth of color and students with disabilities are key features of the school-to-prison pipeline. And similar to the achievement gap, the costs of the school-to-prison pipeline are high for individuals and society at large. The purpose of this OLO report is to improve the County Council's understanding of the school-to-prison pipeline and its dimensions in Montgomery County. Towards that end, our report describes background information on the factors that contribute to the school-to-prison pipeline, local data on school discipline, arrest, and juvenile justice outcomes, information on the interrelated work of agencies that impact youth at high risk of entering the prison pipeline. Our report also compares local practices to best practices for stemming the prison pipeline and shares stakeholders' perspectives on what currently works well for stemming the school-to-prison pipeline in the county, as well as opportunities for improvement.
I don't think it's all that different than it's been since I started school in Montgomery County in 1961. So this is a lot of same story, same bad endings. I believe there's lots of good intentions, but I think there's a lack of intentionality in our programs to actually produce results that change things. I don't know how many times you can do stuff and not get where you say you're planning on going without making some decision to fundamentally look at what the heck you're doing. And I just think that, you know, we talk about this a lot. Everybody's distressed about it greatly. And I just think over the years we haven't done the stuff we need to do. And so I hope that, you know, we get to the point where we're doing honest evaluations of programs. We're thinking about what really works. We're looking at more best practices, and that we measure ourselves and can start having conversations about how quickly we're driving these problems down, rather than getting reports talking about the sad persistence of all this. So I really think we've got to figure out how we fundamentally change the work we're doing. And I say this all the time, I'll say it again here. It's elementary school. It all gets unglued, where kids don't get put on the track really early on. And the sooner you get disconnected and the sooner you start failing and falling behind, the harder it is to get you reconnected, either socially or academically. So everything we don't do when these kids are young just comes back to us in spades as these kids get older. And I've been pushing for a focus on early childhood and on elementary since I got on this council, and I don't see the reflection in the school system programming that reflects a focus on how do I take a kid who's behind 2 years when they walk through the door and guarantee, to the best of my abilities anyway, that at the end of third grade, they actually are at the end of the third grade academically. And I think academic success does an awful lot to mediate against social behaviors which are challenging. The kids who are successful, kids who don't feel they're different, kids who don't find excuses for why I'm behaving different than everybody else because I'm just different than everybody else. The more you make them equally competent and feel the same about themselves as every other kid does, the more they start acting in a different way. So I hope we actually wind up doing something at some point, particularly focusing on the elementary schools.